There's a Galaxy S25 Ultra sitting on someone's desk right now, and its camera ring just fell off. Not because it was dropped, not because it's old. It's 3 months old and the ring just fell off because Samsung glued it on. A $1,299 phone held together with what's essentially fancy tape. And that tiny detail tells us everything about why the world's former smartphone king is crumbling faster than a house of cards in an earthquake. Welcome to the most expensive magic trick in tech history, where Samsung makes premium features disappear while keeping premium prices and somehow convinces millions of people this was innovation. But here's what they don't want you to know. Every missing feature, every quality control disaster, every software nightmare isn't just a tech problem. It's an economic story that reads like a thriller novel about how empires fall. Picture this. You're Samsung. You've been the world's smartphone champion for over a decade, outselling everyone, including Apple, dominating markets from Seoul to Sao Paulo. Then suddenly, you're watching your numbers plummet like a dropped phone loses its screen protector. Samsung's global market share dropped from 19.7% to 18.3% in 2024, the first time since 2014, and that all major Samsung business segments reported declining market share simultaneously. This wasn't because they stopped innovating, it's because they perfected the art of uninnovating. Samsung has mastered what economists call value engineering, but let's call it what it really is: value demolition. They've systematically removed features that once defined the Galaxy experience, creating what can only be described as a tomb of lost features. The headphone jack? Long gone. The micro SD slot? Gone with the Galaxy S21 Ultra. The S Pen's Bluetooth functionality that lets you control your phone remotely? Vanished with the S25 Ultra. Samsung's justification: only about 2% users were reportedly using these features. Well, how do you decide to ignore those 2% users then? Making the phone thinner and lighter by a mere 0.4 millimeters. A difference so small you'd need a microscope to notice, but nobody was asking for anyway. Samsung is following what economists call the Apple playbook, removing features while maintaining premium pricing. The problem? Samsung lacks Apple's ecosystem lock-in effect that makes customers tolerate such changes. When Apple removes a feature, customers grumble but stay because leaving the Apple ecosystem is like trying to escape a luxury prison. When Samsung removes features, customers just leave. When Samsung removed the charger from the box, citing sustainability, they were actually implementing the most brilliant cost reduction strategy in modern business history. You can spend $1,299 on a Galaxy S25 Ultra. But if you need a charger, you must buy one separately. It's Economics 101 with a twist. Reduce costs while maintaining revenue streams, then create new revenue streams from what you removed. The removal of features like SpO2 and heart rate monitors forced customers to buy Samsung wearables to access these functionalities. This isn't just feature removal, it's ecosystem fragmentation disguised as product differentiation. Samsung turned basic smartphone features into premium add-ons, except they forgot to tell customers why this was supposed to be good for them. They're creating what economists call consumer confidence erosion. When you charge premium prices but remove features, customers start questioning everything. If Samsung can't be trusted to include a charger, can they be trusted to include a working phone? This brings us to Samsung's quality control crisis, And prepare yourself for a story that sounds like it came from a comedy show, but is actually happening to millions of users. Recent Galaxy S25 users have reported camera rings falling off devices that are less than 3 months old. These rings, which give the S25 its distinctive appearance, are simply glued on, a cost-cutting measure that creates long-term reliability issues for a phone that costs more than most people's monthly rent. Quality control problems have become endemic across Samsung's product line. Users report dead sub-pixels, scratched titanium frames straight out of the box, and metal particles between screens and glass. One frustrated customer went through 4 Galaxy S24 Ultra devices, all with defects, eventually switching to a Xiaomi 14 Ultra with no issues. Think about that for a moment. A customer paid premium prices for Samsung's flagship 4 times and got defective units every single time. That's not bad luck, that's systematic failure. Samsung's quality problems stem from what economists call time to market pressure. The company appears to be rushing products to market without adequate quality assurance, creating a negative feedback loop. Rushed products lead to customer dissatisfaction, which leads to market share loss, which leads to even more pressure to rush the next product. It's like a hamster wheel of corporate disaster. The Galaxy Note 7 battery disaster in 2016 wasn't just a one-time crisis. It was the beginning of a pattern that continues today. The Note 7 recall cost Samsung $5.3 billion and required recalling over 2.5 million devices because of battery design flaws that created insufficient insulation and inadequate room for electrodes.
This is going to be a collector's item, a Samsung Galaxy Note 7, now a very rare device. 24 hours ago, the company was only saying that it was going to temporarily adjust production of the phone. Now it says it's going to permanently discontinue it. It's over. The phone will not be coming back. So how did we get here? Well, in late August, this phone, which got rave reviews, the latest in the Note series, it began to be reports that some of them were overheating and even catching fire.
Samsung never truly solved its battery problems. A user reported that their 2021 model Galaxy A71 still has perfect battery life after 4 years of overnight charging, but their S23 Ultra needed a battery replacement after just 2 years with identical charging habits. When they went to Samsung's official service store, the technician casually mentioned getting too many battery replacement requests, because apparently overnight charging is common, and the battery is now made in India, proving Samsung outsources batteries while changing suppliers constantly. Here's the economic smoking gun. Samsung has been aggressively promoting battery protection features since the S22 launch, especially with the S23, which means they know their batteries aren't good enough to survive 2 years without babying them with software tricks. It's like selling you a car while simultaneously warning you not to drive it too much. Fast forward to 2025, and users are still reporting severe battery drain issues after One UI 7 updates. Galaxy S24 and Z Fold 5 users report battery life improvements of up to 400% after installing security patches, suggesting the problems were software-related but had persisted for months. Users report phones draining from 100% to 20% in less than 8 hours with minimal usage. The economic impact of this battery anxiety is staggering. Samsung's battery issues have become so notorious that carriers offered Galaxy S25 Ultra devices for free in Q1 2025, something that had never happened with a Galaxy Ultra device. This represents a massive economic loss. Samsung had to sacrifice margins to maintain market share, essentially paying customers to take their phones. Samsung's product strategy reads like a case study in corporate confusion. They were launching phones like a machine gun firing in the dark, hoping to hit something. First came the S series flagship, then the Note series 6 months later. Then a couple of fan versions, creating a confusing mess of phones with tiny differences that left even Samsung fans scratching their heads. It felt like desperate attempts to catch any market segment possible, like throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. Samsung eventually realized this was economic suicide and ditched the Note series altogether, replacing it with Ultra models launched alongside the S series each year. Problem solved? Not quite. They simply moved the chaos to a different time slot. The old Note timing is now occupied by Flip and Fold series that have practically no meaningful differences between yearly releases. It's like they're building phones based on a hunch about market trends without paying attention to actual consumer behavior data. Here's a question that'll make you realize how disconnected Samsung is from its users. As a Samsung customer, have you ever received a survey asking what features you value most in your smartphone? Of course not, because Samsung apparently gets its market research from a magic 8 ball, rather than asking the people who actually buy their phones. Samsung faces what economists call a competitive sandwich. Squeezed from above by Apple and from below by Chinese manufacturers. In China's premium smartphone segment, devices over $600, Samsung captured just 3% market share, while Apple commanded 64%. This isn't just about product quality, it's about brand perception and ecosystem lock-in. Apple's ecosystem creates what economists call switching costs, the difficulty and expense of moving to a different platform. Users can start an email on an iPhone and finish it on a Mac. But Samsung's ecosystem lacks this seamless integration. Meanwhile, Chinese manufacturers have mastered the art of value engineering, providing high-end features at lower prices. Huawei's rapid AI adoption in devices like the Magic 7 and Honor series has captured significant market share by offering AMOLED screens and powerful processors at prices Samsung can't match, while maintaining its premium margins. Samsung's pricing strategy has become economically unsustainable. The company is losing volume market share because it's focused on premium devices that cater to a smaller audience. Samsung's volume market share fell from 18% to 16% in 2024, while its value share rose only slightly. They're selling fewer phones but charging more for them, which works until customers realize they can get better value elsewhere. Samsung's One UI 7 update represents a masterclass in how software can destroy hardware value. Users report severe performance issues, including phones that slow down, hang, heat up, and drain batteries rapidly. The quick settings panel stops working, requiring phone restarts to function. Animation bugs in One UI 8 beta make screens unresponsive during app transitions. For a company that promises 7 years of software updates, these issues raise serious questions about Samsung's commitment to software quality. Poor software creates what economists call opportunity costs, the value lost when customers choose alternatives. Samsung's software problems have become so severe that some users are switching to Chinese brands like Xiaomi, which offer better software experiences at lower prices. Samsung's smartphone decline isn't just about technology, it's about economics. The company faces a classic innovator's dilemma: maintain premium pricing while competitors offer better value, or reduce prices and sacrifice the margins that fund innovation. Samsung's market share decline, quality control issues, and persistent battery problems represent a perfect storm of economic challenges. The question isn't whether Samsung can recover. It's whether the company will recognize that in today's smartphone market, success isn't about selling more phones. It's about keeping customers for life. Until Samsung solves its fundamental problems with quality, software, and value proposition, its flagship smartphones will continue their downhill trajectory. The economics are clear. Premium prices require premium experiences. Samsung's current strategy of charging flagship prices while delivering subpar quality is a recipe for continued decline. The company that once taught the world about smartphone innovation now needs to relearn the basics of customer satisfaction. The smartphone market has become a game of ecosystems, not just hardware. Samsung's challenge isn't just making better phones, it's making better economic sense to consumers who have more choices than ever before. Every glued-on camera ring, every missing charger, every software bug isn't just a technical problem. It's an economic signal that Samsung might not be worth the premium price anymore. And that Galaxy S25 Ultra sitting on someone's desk with its fallen camera ring? It's not just a phone with a design flaw. It's a $1,299 lesson in how even the mightiest tech empires can fall one tiny economic decision at a time.